A power drill is one of the most useful tools in almost any workshop. If you only own one power tool, it's probably a drill. It drills holes, drives screws, mixes paint, spins wire brushes, and with the right attachment, it can do dozens of other jobs. Because we use it so often, it's easy to fall into the habit of reaching for it every time something needs a hole. But there are situations where a power drill isn't the best tool. In fact, it can actually make the job harder or ruin the work completely. Knowing when to put the power drill down and pick up a different tool can give you cleaner results with less frustration. When people hear drill, they usually think more power is always better. Bigger motor, higher speed, more torque. But drilling isn't just about making a hole. It's about making the right hole in the right place without damaging the material. Sometimes power helps. Sometimes power gets in the way. One example is drilling extremely small holes. If you've ever worked with electronics, model making, jewelry, watches, fishing lures, or delicate plastic parts, you've probably seen drill bits that are almost the size of a sewing needle. Many cordless drill chucks simply won't close down far enough to hold those tiny bits. Even if they do, the grip may not be secure. That's where a simple hand-operated pin drill comes in. It grips those tiny bits securely and gives you complete control. The lack of power is actually the advantage. You're turning the drill by hand, so you can feel exactly what the bit is doing. You feel it when it starts cutting. You feel it begins to bind. You feel when you're about to break through. That feedback is almost completely lost with a power drill spinning hundreds or even thousands of revolutions per minute. Small drill bits are surprisingly fragile. A number 60 or number 70 drill bit doesn't tolerate much side pressure. A cordless drill can snap one almost instantly before you even realize something is wrong. With a pin drill, you're much less likely to break the bit because you're working at a pace where your hands can react before damage occurs. Another place where a power drill isn't always the best choice is when you're starting a precision hole. Imagine drilling a tiny pilot hole in a piece of finished hardwood, acrylic, brass, or aluminum. The bit wants to wander before it begins cutting. With a power drill, that wandering happens so quickly you often don't have time to correct it. By turning the bit slowly by hand for the first few revolutions, you can establish the hole exactly where you want it before switching to a power drill if needed. Plastic is another material that sometimes prefers less power. High drill speeds generate heat. That heat softens many plastics. Instead of producing clean chips, the plastic begins melting around the bit. The hole becomes rough, oversized, or develops a raised ridge around the edge. Drilling slowly by hand completely eliminates that heat problem. The material cuts instead of melts. The same idea applies when you're enlarging an existing hole just a tiny amount. A power drill wants to grab aggressively, especially with larger bits. Hand turning lets you sneak up on the final size with much more control. That's one reason machinists often finish certain operations by hand, even though power equipment is sitting only a few feet away. Power drills can also be the wrong choice when you're working close to delicate surfaces. Maybe you've already finished the part. It's painted, polished, or expensive. One sudden grab from a power drill can skid across the surface and leave a permanent scratch. Working by hand gives you time to react if something doesn't feel right. There's another lesson hiding here that's bigger than just pin drills. Every tool has strengths and weaknesses. We sometimes think the newest or most powerful tool automatically replaces everything that came before it. That's usually not true. Hand tools have survived for hundreds of years because there are jobs they simply do better. Think about a hand saw. We have circular saws, miter saws, band saws, and table saws. Yet people still own hand saws. A hand file still has a place even if you own a belt sander. A screwdriver still belongs in the toolbox, even if you own an impact driver. The goal isn't to eliminate hand tools. It's to understand where they outperform powered ones. I think beginners sometimes assume using hand tools means you're doing things the old-fashioned way because you can't afford better equipment. In reality, experienced builders often choose hand tools because they give better results. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. That doesn't mean you should throw away your cordless drill. Quite the opposite. Once a small pilot hole has been started accurately, a power drill is often the fastest and best way to finish the job. The hand tool isn't replacing the power tool. Each one is doing the part of the job it does best. The same thinking applies throughout the shop. Sometimes the best solution isn't buying another tool. It's understanding the tools you already have well enough to know when each one shines. That's one of the biggest differences between someone who simply owns tools and someone who consistently gets good results. So the next time you're about to drill a hole, Pause for a second and ask yourself a simple question. Do I need speed, or do I need control? If the answer is speed, reach for the power drill. If the answer is precision, delicate work, tiny drill bits, or maximum feel, a simple hand-powered pin drill may actually be the better tool. That's one of the ideas behind this Shop Proven series. Good workmanship isn't always about having the biggest shop or the newest equipment. More often, it's about understanding why one tool works better than another for a particular job. Sometimes, the smartest move you can make in the shop is putting the power tool down and picking up something much simpler. Thank you for watching. There's more to come.